all are doing well. Spring is almost here for us in Canada. Hopefully. This means that we will soon be storing away all our winter clothes and switching up to our spring wardrobes. Now, before we do that, you really want to make sure that you are taking proper care of your winter garments so that they are very much ready to use for the next winter season. Now, this video is especially for someone who has moved to a very cold place such as Canada, US or UK or any other northern part of the world where it's really cold and kind of snowing. So this video is for you, and all the things that I will be talking about are something that I have actually tried and tested. I personally have made a lot of mistakes when I first arrived to Canada. My first 2 years was like very different, and all these things are something now I do it on a regular basis so that my knitwears are kind of lasting for a really long time, and that is something you want because they're kind of expensive. So if you do not want to make any mistake and you do not want to waste any money, then do watch this video till the end because it's going to be so helpful for you. And I will also kind of talk about the mistakes that I have made, and I do have a couple things that I can actually show you today, so do watch that as well. So I'm going to be dividing this video into two major categories. One is knitwear and the other one is coats and jackets. Okay, so now let's take a look at knitwears. And when I say knitwear, I'm specifically talking about the ones that are made of natural fibers such as wool cashmere. One of the interesting thing about these natural fibers is that you do not have to wash them after every use, as they do have a mechanism to self-clean. I know it's kind of tough to wrap your head around it, but I have tried that, and you don't have to wash them after every use. Also, the other thing is that, especially here in Canada where it's really cold, most of the time what we like to do is that we like to layer something underneath those knitwear, such as a thermal wear or something that is thin in material, so that we are well protected during those cold weather. Now, it doesn't mean that you do not have to wash your knitwear at all. It's up to you, but I do like to wash them after a couple uses at least. Now, the best way to wash them is to hand wash. Hand washing your knitwear is the best way so that it increases the longevity of your knitwear, and it kind of keeps it looking new for a really long time. And also, using a delicate detergent that are specifically made for your knitwear is going to be helpful. The one that I have been using currently is this one from Laundress, and I have to say it's such a delicate detergent. It does clean and does its job, but at the same time, it keeps my knitwear very fresh and new looking, I would say. And yeah, this is what you want. I will definitely link something similar as well in the description box, so if you want, you can always check them out. And this is also applicable for your wool blend sweaters, and by that I mean any sweaters that you have consist of 20 or more percentage of natural fibers such as wool cashmere. I like to treat them as my 100% wool and just wash them in a delicate way, because you really want to make sure that they also last for a really long time. Now, I do have couple sweaters that have 4% or 5% wool in it, and in that case I just wash them in like my regular clothes, because that wool is not going to make any difference to my overall outfit, so I just wash as a regular garment. Now, what I like to do is that I like to take a bucket, fill in some cold water, as it will avoid shrinking your garment, and then add in your delicate detergent, and then add in your knitwear. And I like to soak them for a good couple minutes, and then just check if you have any stains or anything. If you do, then try to focus on that part and just rub them gently so that you do not ruin your knitwear. And then once you're done, just rinse them with cold water, and that's it. Also, while squeezing, you do not want to twist your garment and squeeze or remove the excess water. Just like try to smush them and try to remove the excess water. Otherwise, it might lead to stretching of your garment, and that is something we do not want. Now, once you're done removing excess water from your knitwear, you will notice that it is still holding a good amount of water because it is in their nature. So what you can do is that you can take in a dry towel and just roll it around your knitwear and try to squeeze as much as you can gently. And this way the towel will soak even more amount of water, and eventually it will help you to dry your knitwear a bit more faster. Now, once you do that, just lay them flat to air dry. Do not try to hang them, otherwise it may lead to stretching of your garment, which we do not want. Also, do not put them in a dryer at any cost because it will definitely ruin your garment. Have I done that? Yes. Was my garment ruined? Definitely. And it does hurt a lot because knitwears are kind of expensive and you do want to make sure that they last for a really long time. Now, if you do not have the time or the luxury to hand wash your garment, what you can do is that just pop them in your washer separate from the other regular garments, and then add in your detergent and wash them under delicate setting. Now, once you're done washing them, just lay them flat to air dry. Again, do not put them in the dryer. That is something you just want to avoid at all costs. Now, the best thing about knitwear is that you do not get that many wrinkles, but sometimes you may get one or two wrinkles here and there, which is fine. And what you can do in that case is that you can use a steamer, a handheld steamer, and you can just steam it around that area so that it gets wrinkle free. But avoid ironing them, otherwise the excess heat may just ruin your garment, which again we do not want that. Using a handheld steamer will not damage your knitwear as much as an iron would do. I'm not saying that it won't damage at all, but definitely not up to the extent as an iron would do. Peeling off a knitwear is a very common thing, especially around the area where your fabric is getting rubbed against each other, such as under your armpit or even in between your legs. But you do want to make sure that you're taking care of that as well, because it might lead to making your garment look kind of old and worn out, and again that is something we do not want. So in such case, what you can do is that you can get a de-bobbler or a de-pilling device that is kind of a handheld device, and what you have to do is that you just have to slide it over the area where you can see a lot of pilling going on. It doesn't take much of time, but it is kind of a maintenance thing that you may have to do every few days or few weeks, depending on how much you are using that specific garment. And once you do that, all the pills and everything kind of is shaved off, and it basically won't ruin your garment at all. But you just want to make sure that you are gently sliding it over your garment. And again, the de-bobbler or something, they do have kind of a screen or kind of a barrier, so it won't ruin your garment. But now this is something that I have done, and I have actually heard this kind of hack, and I have tried it myself, and it's kind of genius only if you are being gentle and very careful. So what you can do is that you can take a razor that is only dedicated to this. Do not use the razor that you use it on yourself. Take a new unused razor and just gently shave that pills, and yeah, it just you just get rid of those pills instantly and very easily, and it won't ruin your garment, but only if you do it gently. That is like the key thing. And if you cannot do it, just get a de-bobbler, and it is going to last you for a really long time. I will definitely link a couple of them that I have been using for a good few years, and they have lasted me for a really long time. So yeah. Now when it comes to storage of your sweaters, and now in this case I'm not talking just about your natural material wool cashmere ones. I'm also talking about the regular polyester ones as well. Whenever you're storing them, do not hang them on a hanger. I mean, just avoid it completely. You do not want to hang them. Just fold and keep it on your shelf or your drawer. I do like the drawer thing, and just keep them like that. Otherwise it will again lead to stretching of the garment, and that is something we do not want. And also, while storing them away for a new season, what I like to do is that I like to add in some lavender sachet or some kind of mothballs, whatever is accessible for you. I'll again link something in the description box, but I can guarantee that at least for the mothballs you can find them at your local stores as well. And yeah, do that, and also make sure that you are storing them under a very dry and dark condition, I would say, so that you just don't get any kind of molds or moths. Okay, so now let's move on to the next category, that is wool coats and jackets. Now if you look at your coat, and if you look inside, there will be kind of a tag where all the instructions will be given, how to wash them or how to take care of them. So it will most of the time ask you or suggest you to dry clean them, which is nice, but that is something I don't like to do because they're kind of expensive. And I mean, unless I have to do on like a regular basis, I won't do anything, like anything. If I have a stain on my coat, or if I have kind of a spot where it needs to be taken care, I'll just spot clean that area and that's it. I won't even wash my coats. I know that may sound a bit weird, but you don't have to. You don't have to. Like, this is specifically something I'm talking about my wool coats. Now when I have to store them away for the next season, what I like to do is that just before storing them away, I like to hang them in a very dry area and kind of very open ventilated area, and I'll just let it be there for like good few hours, and then I'll put them in the storage. And again, I'll add in my mothballs or my lavender sachet, again whichever I have at that time, and then I'll store it. And for my wool, if in case I have any kind of wrinkles on it or I need to steam them, I'll just use my handheld steamer. Again, I will link them in the description box. I won't use any kind of iron at any cost. Now if you want to wash them, just give it to the dry cleaner, or just hand wash. Hand wash, or I would say just soak them in a soapy water and then just rinse it off. Do not put them in a washer. I have done that and I have completely ruined my coat. And I know you must be thinking, why would I ever do that? Now, I don't come from a place, or I did not grow up in an area or in a place where it was really cold. I come from a very hot climate where we just want a reason to wash our clothes. So that is why I did wash my coat, and that did not end up well, and I had to get rid of that. I don't know if I did get rid of that. If I have, I'll show you. But yeah, just don't do that. You can never wear them. I know I just can never wear them. Now if you wish to hang in your coat, or you can obviously do that, but do not use a hanger that are like the regular ones that are kind of made of like thin strip or like the thin hangers, because first of all, it won't be able to take the weight of your coat, because most of the coats are kind of heavy and long. And so what you can do is that you can just take a hanger that is specifically made for coats, the ones that are kind of broad, or that has a width at the end. This will help protect your shoulder pads that you have on your coats, and it won't just sag your coat or your shoulders. This is something you do not want. Now I personally do not have a hanger for my wool coats as of yet. I do love the wooden ones, which I want to buy. I might buy, but we'll see. But for now, I do have the ones that you get from the store, or from whenever you buy online. But yeah, if you want to make an investment, you can always buy a wooden one, because that will last you for a really long time, and it will also protect your coats as well. Now when it comes to parka or puffer jacket, you do not have to wash them every now and then either. I do like to use the spot cleaning technique for this one as well. But if you wish to wash them, you want to make sure that you are putting them in a washer that has a front load rather than a top load, because if you put them in a top load, it might damage the filling of your jacket. And once you're done washing them, you can definitely tumble dry on a delicate setting, and make sure that you are adding in your tennis ball. It will help with the fluffiness of your jacket. Now if I be honest, I do not use a dryer for my puffer jacket either, because guess what, I have made some mistakes as well. Now what happened was, when we first came to Canada, we used to wash our jacket and then put them in the dryer, and once we take it out from the dryer, we did notice some kind of different, like something was off, but we weren't able to put our finger on, so we didn't know what exactly was going on. But then later on, what we noticed is that the jacket that we had, the puffer jacket we had at that time, it did have fur on the hood. So when you put them in the dryer, all the fur that you have around the rim of your hood, it does get shrink, and eventually it does ruin your jacket. Now I do have one jacket that I will show you, because it does hold some kind of sentimental value, so I'm not getting rid of it, and it does fit me, and it's kind of like 15 years old, and it still fits me, so I'm not going to get rid of it. But yeah, I'll show you the rim of the hood, and I'll show you what it does to the fur. So just avoid doing that at all costs. You do not want to, you know, ruin your jacket, because it won't look good, and then, you know, there won't be any sense to use that jacket. I mean, if you want, you can obviously use them, but you have eventually ruined your jacket. So yes, if you see this jacket, it's such a cute jacket, and if you look at the rim of the hood, you know, you can see all the fur has been shrunken, and I mean, for obvious reason, because we did put them in the dryer, and this is something you do not want. That you do want your fur, you know, to be like very fresh and like, you know, feathery, and you know, just to avoid this, you know, never put them in a dryer. So yes, this is it. These are the simple steps that will ensure your garment are taken care properly, and they are kind of lasting for a really long time. And if you did enjoy this video, then hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.